Hello happy gardeners, welcome back to Stinky Ditch Nursery. We've got Jamesy on camera. Say Jamesy.
Hello.
And today we're talking about how to propagate from ferns. Ferns are lovely things to grow in your garden. They require very little maintenance. They grow in really shady places where nothing else will grow, and you can propagate from them. You can actually grow new ferns from the ferns you have in your garden. Now, they're an ancient plant. They are not like normal flowering plants that have seeds and all the rest of it. No. They have a different way of reproducing. And it's almost like a caterpillar and a butterfly in the way that they have a sort of pupa stage to how they create their young. And we can do this as gardeners, we can propagate from them, and I'll show you how to do it now. You'll need a few things. You'll need a small plastic container, recycle everything, I use these takeaway ones, with some compost in it. This compost and the container have to be sterilised. I will show you how to do that in a minute. If you're like me, you need a pair of glasses because it's all very, very small. And you will also need a fern that has sori on the underside of it. Now, sori, James, spin in. Sori are the places where these spores are formed. They appear underneath the leaves of ferns. Now, they do it in a stripe like that on these heart tongue things. Now, this one here, we have got no sori appearing on that yet. And this one here, we've got some appearing. Can you see these little lumps underneath the leaves? And eventually, these lumps will turn a sort of golden brown colour like that. Now, we did a video of this earlier and it all went wrong, and so I'm having to redo this. Anyway, I've already pinched off a leaf that contained, James, spin back again. I've already pinched off a leaf that contained, that had the sori on the back side. See these little brown things? And as you can see, I've just put it in between, in a bit of folded paper like this. I'm going to leave it like that for about a month. But you can see, James, can you spin in? Can you see these tiny little things here? These are the spores that we're after. That's what we're after. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in there, like that, and I'm going to leave that for about a few weeks until all of those spores are fallen onto the paper. Now, we're going to be propagating these in a little plastic tub like this with some compost at the bottom. The main thing you have to remember with ferns, propagating them, is everything has to be pretty clean, pretty sterile. Now, you could get this with a bit of damp compost in it and put it in the microwave with the lid on, or loosely on, and put it in the microwave for 10, 20 seconds. This will sterilise everything in it. If you don't want to use a microwave, you can do it this way. You can get yourself a clean tea towel and you put it over your compost like this, and then you get some boiling water and pour it on like that. There you go. You let that seep through, maybe do it twice just to be sure, and this will sterilise your compost that you have that we're going to be planting the spores in. I'll just chuck that down there for a moment. And here's one that I made earlier. Here we go. Now, this whole thing is sterile. I can't tell you how important that is. This whole thing is sterile. And we're going to lift off the lid like this. It also has drainage holes in the bottom. You've got to have drainage holes in the bottom. You don't want it getting too damp. Now, the leaf that I've already put in the folded paper, I've got some that I did earlier, a few months ago. Here we are, James, show the people. And there we are. We started raining. A lovely bit of rain. James, show them the gutters. I need to clear the gutters out. Brilliant, you need to clear the gutters out. Oh, and show them this actually, James. Look, this is the thistle, the Equinox that was in flower a few months ago and James was looking at. Lovely flower, lovely, beautiful flowers to it. And now you can see, look at that, the seed pods are starting to fall out. Isn't that lovely? And those seeds, they'll grow into plants like that. Really good to grow, really good for your garden. Get some Equinox, I sell them online. Right, and anyway, let me put my glasses on. Let's open up this bit of paper and you'll see, look at this. The leaf, the sori have sort of dropped all their spores. So if I take this off of here, James, can you see all of those tiny little dots there? Tiny little dots, they are the spores that we're after. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rattle them all down like that, and I'm going to give them a bit of a sprinkle over the top of the compost, like this. Like that. You can do them in little piles, you can do them all over, you can do them like that, but all I'm trying to do is get all of those spores onto that wet compost. There we are. And now, as with many forms of gardening, we wait. I'm going to get a lid, I'm going to put it on there to keep it nice and damp, and we are going to wait. Now, what will happen is, it almost seems like a moss-like thing forms across the top of the soil there. And this is called the Excuse me. Now this is the point I'm trying to make. You don't have to know all the words to do this. You don't need to know the Latin. I don't. I forget it all the time. But I know how to grow ferns. So it then creates the prothali. Prothali. This is a little growth that appears on the top, and you'll see these little dimples appear within this sort of green mossy thing. Within these dimples, you'll have eggs and sperm. When water hits this, the sperm will actually swim through the water to another egg and fertilise it. And then you start to get little baby ferns coming up. Now this whole process can take many months. It can take up to a year. But once you've got your little pot like this, with your spores in there, ready to go, just put it outside somewhere. Doesn't need to be in any heat or anything. If your ferns are growing outside, they'll be fine outside. Put it outside somewhere and you'll start to get the green stuff growing. We're then going to do another video, which will probably be in a few months, as to what to do with your little ferns then. But with a bit of luck, we'll have some lovely ferns growing, and I'll be able to show you how to do this. So until these start to form, we're going to leave that, and that's about it. This has been Robbie Phoenix down at Stinky Ditch Nursery with James here on camera, just showing you the first stage of how to propagate ferns from your garden yourself, so you don't have to spend a fortune in the shops. Thank you for watching.